there is a soft blue glow in the darkness, a small rectangle of light held in your hands. It is the only thing that seems real in the quiet of the late hour. This screen promises knowledge, certainty, a name for the feeling that has pulled you from the edge of sleep. It offers a map, a guide through the unfamiliar territory of a sensation in your own body. And yet, with every search, every link clicked, every forum read, the opposite happens. The world of answers expands into a universe of new questions, new worries, new and terrifying possibilities. The silence of your room feels deeper, the isolation more profound. The search for reassurance has somehow become a source of anxiety itself. This little glowing window, meant to connect you to answers, has instead become a barrier to the one thing you truly need, your own peaceful, restorative rest. Before we begin this journey away from that screen and back into ourselves, let's take just a quiet moment. If you feel comfortable, you might write in the comments which part of this world you're listening from right now and what time it is where you are. I'm curious. Are you listening in the deep quiet of the late night? Or perhaps in the pale early morning hours when sleep simply hasn't come? Just leave a word or two, a small signal from your quiet corner of the world, and then settle in. Because this time right now, is entirely and completely yours. What if this whole experience, this urgent late night search for a diagnosis, isn't really about finding the right medical term? What if the body is not a machine that has developed a fault, but a living landscape that is trying to communicate something vital? Throughout our time together, we will explore this very possibility. We will gently turn our attention away from the search for what is wrong and begin a patient journey of listening for what is true. We will discover how the mind, in an incredible act of protection, can transform an intangible feeling like fear or grief into a tangible physical sensation. We will learn to see a symptom not as an enemy to be defeated, but as a messenger, perhaps in disguise, who has traveled a very long way to bring you a message. This is an invitation to transform your relationship with your own body, from one of fear and mistrust to one of profound kindness and curiosity. It's a chance to turn down the volume on the frantic external search and to finally hear the quiet wisdom that has been waiting patiently within you all along. So now, let's begin that process. The first step is the simplest and perhaps the most powerful. It is an invitation to let go of the search. Feel the phone in your hand, its familiar weight, its cool surface. Acknowledge its role tonight. It was a tool you reached for in a moment of need, a desire for safety. There is no judgment here for that, only understanding. And now, with that understanding, you can choose to set it down. You might decide to turn the screen off first. Watch as the blue light that has held your focus so intensely simply fades to black, returning the room to its natural, gentle darkness. The world of endless information vanishes with a single press of a button. And in its place, something else can arrive. Presence, stillness, the reality of you, here, in your bed. Now, place the phone somewhere out of easy reach, on a nightstand, on the floor, somewhere that your hand won't instinctively find it. This is a small physical act, but it is a powerful symbolic gesture. You are turning from the outer world of data and returning to the inner world of your own experience. Feel the immediate shift in the room. The hum of electricity might seem to fade. The air itself might feel softer, calmer. There is no longer a task to be completed, no more information to be gathered. The only thing to do now is to simply be, to arrive fully in this moment, in this bed, in this body. Allow your eyes to close, if they haven't already. Let the muscles around your eyes soften, releasing the tension of staring at a screen. Let your jaw unclench. Let your shoulders, which may have been hunched forward, relax down and away from your ears. The search is over for tonight. You have given yourself permission to stop. In its place, we are creating a space for a different kind of knowing to emerge. Not a knowing of facts and figures, but a knowing of feeling, of sensing, of being. The journey has changed. We are no longer trying to solve a puzzle. We are simply coming home to ourselves. Feel the texture of the sheets against your skin. Notice the weight of the blanket upon you, a gentle, reassuring pressure. Feel the pillow supporting your head, allowing the muscles in your neck to finally let go. This is your sanctuary, this bed, this room, this moment of quiet. For so long, your attention has been projected outward into a digital space of infinite complexity. Now, gently, lovingly, invite your attention to come home. Bring it back within the boundaries of your own skin. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your own breath, a quiet, steady rhythm that has been with you all along, a faithful anchor in the background of your worry. You don't need to change your breath or control it in any way. Just notice it, this simple, life-affirming movement. This is the beginning of listening, not with the ears, but with the whole body. The frantic search for information has been transformed into a gentle journey of inner listening. The quest for a label has become an acceptance of the present moment. You have already taken the most important step. You have chosen to turn away from the noise and towards the quiet. You have chosen to trust that the deepest answers are not found on a screen in the middle of the night, but in the gentle, patient stillness of your own being. And in this stillness, a new kind of healing can begin. The transformation is already underway. The searcher is becoming the listener. The worrier is becoming the witness. And the night, once a landscape of anxiety, is now becoming a space for deep, restorative peace. Everything that follows is simply an unfolding of this first, courageous step you have already taken. You are safe here. You are whole. And you are ready to listen. In the quiet that you have created, something new can begin. The air in the room, once charged with the silent hum of a question aimed at the void of the internet, is now still. It holds only the gentle sound of your own breathing. This is the first landscape we will explore, the landscape of quiet. For so long, we have been taught to think of our bodies in a particular way. We are taught to see them as intricate machines, marvels of biological engineering. We speak of them running like clockwork, of needing fuel, of parts wearing out. When something feels amiss, we say we are broken. We look for a faulty component, a crossed wire, a glitch in the system that needs to be diagnosed and repaired. This view makes us excellent mechanics of our own flesh and bone. We become detectives, searching for clues, isolating the problem, and seeking a manual to tell us how to fix it. The late-night search is the ultimate expression of this belief. It is the act of a diligent mechanic trying to find the right name for the strange noise the engine is making. And there is a certain logic to it, a sense of control. But what if this metaphor, as useful as it can be, is also profoundly limiting? What if a body is not a machine at all? Consider this. What if your body is less like a car and more like a living landscape? A vast and ancient ecosystem with its own climates, its own seasons, its own rivers and forests, and deep, quiet caves. A landscape is not a machine. It doesn't break. It simply is. It responds. It communicates. A drought is not a flaw in the landscape's design. It is a message about the absence of rain. A flash flood is not a mistake. It is the story of a sudden, overwhelming downpour. The changing colors of the leaves in autumn are not a sign of sickness, but a wise and necessary preparation for the deep rest of winter. In this view, a sensation in the body is not a check engine light signaling a fault. It is a change in the weather. It is the ground becoming firm or soft. It is a river changing its course. The language of a landscape is not one of logic and mechanics, but of feeling, of atmosphere, of subtle, powerful shifts. It is a language that cannot be understood by a quick search, but must be learned slowly, patiently, by sitting with it and listening, by feeling the sun and the wind, by noticing the quietest stirrings in the undergrowth. This shift in perspective changes everything. It moves us from a place of anxiety and control to a place of curiosity and reverence. We cease to be a frantic mechanic and become a patient naturalist, observing the terrain of our own being with wonder. And so, let's pose the central question for our time together tonight, and let it rest gently in the quiet space you've created. What if this symptom, this sensation that has captured your attention, is not a fault, but a form of poetry? A message from a deeper part of you, written in a language that is not of words, but of feeling. Poetry is not meant to be analyzed like a technical manual. You don't solve a poem. You feel it. You let it wash over you. It speaks in metaphor and symbol, pointing towards a truth that is too large or too subtle for ordinary language. A line of poetry can hold a whole season of grief. A single image can contain a lifetime of longing. What if the tightness in your chest is not just a physiological event, but the first stanza of a poem about what you are holding on to? What if a persistent headache is not just a neurological signal, but a poem about unspoken pressure? We are not dismissing the physical reality of the sensation. We are simply adding a layer of meaning, a layer of soul. We are acknowledging that we are more than just a collection of systems. We are living, feeling beings, and our bodies are the sacred ground where our entire experience of life unfolds. Now, let's begin to feel this landscape directly. Let's practice listening in this new way. Gently bring your awareness to your body as a whole, lying here in the darkness. For this moment, we are not going to focus on any specific sensation or area of concern. The naturalist doesn't study a single leaf by ignoring the entire forest. First, they take in the whole ecosystem, so let your awareness be vast and open. Feel the simple, undeniable fact of your body's presence. Feel its weight, the gentle pull of gravity holding you safely to the earth. This weight is your anchor. It is your connection to the here and now. There is nothing to fix about this weight. It is just a simple, true fact of your existence. Let your body feel heavy, supported, and at rest. Now, bring a soft awareness to the warmth of your body. Notice the gentle heat that radiates from your skin, the life force contained within you. This warmth is present everywhere, a quiet, consistent energy. It is the climate of your inner world. You might feel it more in your hands or feet, or perhaps in your core. You don't need to search for it. Just be open to noticing it. This warmth is a sign of life, of vitality, of the incredible silent work your body is always doing on your behalf. There is no agenda here, There is no need to find anything wrong. The sole purpose of this moment is to reestablish contact, to reacquaint yourself with the vast, peaceful majority of your physical landscape, to remember that for every 1 acre of land that is experiencing a storm, there are thousands of acres that are calm and at peace. Feel the entirety of yourself, from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, as one unified, living presence, a whole and complete landscape resting here in the quiet of the night. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a world to be explored. And by learning to listen to its poetry, you are beginning the beautiful, transformative journey back to yourself. Having found our way into the quiet landscape of the body, we can now begin to approach the specific sensation that called for your attention tonight. We will do so not as a mechanic approaches a faulty part, but as one would approach a mysterious visitor who has just arrived at the door. Imagine for a moment that your body is a house, a familiar, comfortable home where you live your life. It has many rooms, rooms for thought, rooms for joy, rooms for quiet contemplation. And like any house, it has a front door, a place where messages and visitors from the outside world can arrive. Now, consider the core idea for our journey tonight, that a physical symptom is often a messenger in disguise. This messenger has traveled a very, very long way to reach you. They carry an important dispatch, a piece of information from a deep and often overlooked part of your inner world. This message is almost always about an emotion. It could be a feeling of grief that was never fully felt, a surge of anger that was suppressed for being inconvenient, a wave of fear that was pushed aside in the name of being strong, or a profound loneliness that had no safe place to be acknowledged. These feelings are not problems. They are natural, vital parts of the human experience. They are like weather systems moving through the landscape of our lives. But we are often taught, or we teach ourselves, to ignore this weather. We lock the doors and shutter the windows of our emotional awareness, hoping the storm will simply pass by on its own. We are too busy. We are too tired. We don't want to be a burden. We tell ourselves to be positive, to look on the bright side, to just get on with it. So the front door, the door to our emotional awareness, remains closed. But the messenger is persistent. The message they carry is too important to be ignored. It is vital for the health of the entire landscape. And so, the messenger, finding the front door locked, does something creative. They go around to the back of the house. They find a different door, a door that is almost always unlocked, the door of your physical body, and they begin to knock. At first, the knock is quiet, a subtle twinge, a fleeting ache, a feeling of slight unease. It's easy to ignore. We turn up the television, we get busy with work, we distract ourselves. But the messenger is patient. The message is important. So the knocking gets a little louder. It becomes a persistent ache, a tightness that doesn't seem to go away, a buzzing sensation, a headache that clouds the afternoon. This is the point where we usually begin to get concerned. This is the point where we start to see the knocking not as a communication, but as a problem. We start asking, what is this noise? What is wrong with the door? How do I make it stop? We put oil on the hinges. We check the frame. We might even call a carpenter. In our modern world, this is when we might take a painkiller or start searching online for persistent knocking sound in shoulder. We are trying to fix the door, because we do not yet realize that the sound is not the problem. The sound is just the knock. The problem, if there is one, is the unopened message. The late-night search for a diagnosis is a profound and desperate attempt to understand the nature of the knock. We want to know its name, its origin, its potential threat. Is it a dangerous knock? A benign knock? A knock that will require extensive repairs? But in all of our searching, we rarely stop to do the one thing the messenger is hoping for. We rarely stop, take a breath, and gently ask, "Who's there?" We rarely open the door. So, for the next few moments, we are going to change our core question. For hours, perhaps, the question in your mind has been, "What is wrong with me?" It is a question born of fear. It presumes brokenness. It positions you as a problem to be solved. Let's gently set that question aside, just for now. Let it rest. In its place, let's pick up a new one, a question born of curiosity and compassion. Let this question be our guide. What message has come for me? Feel the difference in your body as you hold this new question. What is wrong with me tends to create tension, a bracing, a sense of inner conflict. What message has come for me is softer. It creates a space of listening, of gentle inquiry. It positions you not as a broken machine, but as a wise homeowner, willing to greet a visitor at the door. You don't have to know the answer. The simple act of asking the question in this new way is the beginning of the entire healing process. It is the act of turning the handle on the door. It signals to the messenger that you are finally ready to listen. The disguise can now begin to fall away. The physical sensation, the symptom, which seemed so solid and frightening, can begin to reveal its true nature. It is not an invading enemy. It is a part of you, speaking to you in the only way it knew how. It has been knocking for a reason. It has been persistent for a reason, because the message it carries is one of profound importance for your well-being. It is a message about a part of your own heart that needs your attention, your care, your compassion. So, as you lie here in the dark, let this new question echo gently in your mind. Don't strain for an answer. Don't try to figure it out. Just allow the question to create an atmosphere of welcome. What message has come for me? By simply asking, you are turning towards yourself with kindness. You are ending the war against your body and beginning a conversation. The messenger, who has been waiting so patiently in the cold, finally sees a light turn on inside. They see a shadow approaching the door. They can feel that they are about to be heard. And in that moment, the knocking can finally begin to soften. The urgency can begin to fade. Because the process of communication, the process of healing, has already begun. To truly understand this messenger and their disguise, we need to appreciate the incredible, almost magical process that happens within the mind. We need to explore the mind's alchemical act, the transformation of something intangible and overwhelming into something tangible and seemingly manageable. Alchemy, in the ancient sense, was the quest to turn a common substance, like lead, into a precious one, like gold. But the mind performs a different kind of alchemy, often in reverse. It takes the vast, formless, and sometimes terrifying gold of pure emotion and transforms it into the dense, solid lead of a physical symptom. Let's consider why this happens. Imagine an intense emotion. It could be a profound grief from a loss you haven't had time to process, a simmering anger from a boundary that has been repeatedly crossed, or a deep-seated fear about the uncertainty of the future. These feelings are like vast bodies of water. Grief is an ocean, deep and wide, with currents that can pull you under. Fear is a thick, disorienting fog. Loneliness is an empty, echoing expanse. When we are faced with these immense emotional states, the conscious mind can feel completely overwhelmed. It doesn't know what to do with an ocean of sadness. It has no map for a fog of anxiety. These feelings seem too big, too powerful, too threatening to our sense of stability and control. The mind, in its primary role as your protector, perceives this overwhelming emotion as a danger. Its prime directive is to keep you safe and functional. And a person lost in an ocean of grief or a fog of fear is not functional. So, it initiates a brilliant protective strategy. It decides it cannot deal with the entire ocean at once. Instead, it will take all the immense, formless energy of that ocean and divert it into a single, narrow, manageable channel. Think of it this way. Imagine a powerful river of emotion flowing through your inner landscape. If this river threatens to flood the entire valley, your consciousness, the mind, like a brilliant engineer, quickly builds a dam. But the pressure of the river is immense and has to go somewhere. So the mind constructs a small, narrow, rocky channel to divert the full force of the water. This channel is the physical symptom. All the chaotic, overwhelming energy of the grief or the fear or the loneliness is now contained and concentrated in one specific place. A throbbing in the temple, a knot in the stomach, a tightness in the throat. This is an act of profound, albeit unconscious genius. The mind has taken an intangible problem, I am overwhelmed by sadness, and transformed it into a tangible one. I have a pain in my shoulder. The new problem, the physical symptom, feels much more manageable. You can't fix a vast feeling of loneliness, but you can try to fix a sore back. You can put heat on it. You can stretch it. You can look up its causes online. The physical symptom gives the mind something to do. It restores a sense of agency and control in a situation that felt utterly uncontrollable. This is not a mistake. It is not a flaw in your design. It is a deeply intelligent protective mechanism. Your mind is not trying to trick you or harm you. It is trying to save you from drowning. It has taken the formless, existential threat of a powerful emotion and given it a name, a location, and a set of definable characteristics. The symptom becomes a container for the feeling that was too much to feel. It's like taking a cloud of steam, the emotion, and condensing it into a single solid block of ice, the symptom. The block of ice is easier to handle, to measure, to examine. You can hold it. The steam, you cannot. This is why the late-night search can feel so compelling, so urgent. It is the mind's logical next step in this process. Having successfully contained the overwhelming emotion in a physical symptom, it now seeks to solve the new, simpler problem. It is looking for the manual for this specific rocky channel it has created. It wants to know the geology of the rocks, the speed of the water, the prognosis for erosion. It is doing exactly what it thinks is best to maintain control and keep you safe. But the healing, the true resolution, cannot happen by focusing only on the channel. True healing requires us to walk back upstream. It requires us to have the courage to stand at the edge of the dam and acknowledge the immense, powerful river of emotion that is being held back. It doesn't mean we have to break the dam and let the flood consume us. Not at all. It simply means we need to understand and honor the river's existence. We need to recognize that the churning water in the narrow channel is not the source of the problem, but a symptom of the immense pressure behind it. When you feel that physical sensation, you are feeling a concentrated, distilled version of the original, unfelt emotion. The sharpness of a pain can be the sharpness of a particular grief. The dull, heavy ache can be the weight of unspoken responsibility. The buzzing or tingling can be the vibrating energy of unexpressed anxiety. The symptom is a direct physical translation, a metaphor made flesh. As you lie here, resting in this understanding, perhaps you can feel a sense of awe for this process, a sense of gratitude even for this incredibly clever system that has worked so hard to protect you. It has been managing the unmanageable on your behalf. There is no need to judge it or to force it to stop. Our work together is simply to create enough safety and space that the mind doesn't have to work so hard. We can gently signal to this protective part of ourselves that we are ready now. We are ready to feel a little more. We are strong enough to approach the great river, not to be swept away by it, but to learn from it, to honor its power, and to slowly, gently begin to open the floodgates in a way that is safe, cleansing, and healing. The alchemical act can be reversed. The solid lead of the symptom can, with gentle awareness and compassion, be transformed back into the flowing, life-giving water of authentic feeling. And that is where true relief is found. Now that we understand the mind's protective alchemy, we can begin to change our relationship with the sensation itself. We can begin a gentle process of moving from symptom to symbol. For a while, perhaps for a long while, your entire focus has been on the clinical definition of this feeling. You have been observing it with the keen eye of a doctor trying to diagnose it. You've given it a clinical name, or you've been searching for one. You've cataloged its frequency, its intensity, its duration. This is the language of the mechanic, the language of fixing. And it is a language that, for all its precision, can often amplify our fear. The more we define a sensation in cold clinical terms, the more foreign and threatening it can feel. Let's try a different approach. For the next few moments, we are going to set aside every medical term, every diagnosis you've read about, every what-if scenario. We are going to gently release the identity of the symptom and begin to observe the sensation with the curious, open heart of a poet. A poet is not interested in what is wrong. A poet is interested in what is true. They don't seek to label, but to experience. They want to know the unique quality, the texture, the flavor of a moment or a feeling. So, let's become poets of our own inner landscape. Let's get curious about this messenger who has been knocking at the door. What does the knock actually feel like when stripped of all its scary stories and labels? Gently, without any judgment or fear, bring your awareness to the part of your body where the sensation is most present. You are not going there to fight it or to wish it away. You are simply showing up as a neutral, compassionate observer. You are arriving with a notepad and a pen, not a sword and a shield. And now, we will begin our poetic observation. We will gently ask some questions, not to find an immediate answer, but to open up our perception. First, consider its quality. If you had to describe this sensation to someone who has never felt it, using only sensory words, what would you say? Is it sharp, like a needle or a piece of glass? Or is it dull, like a heavy, smooth stone? Is the Sensation buzzing, like a trapped bee, full of a nervous, vibrating energy? Or is it heavy, like a lead weight, pulling you down? Perhaps it feels hot, like a glowing ember. Or maybe it's cold, like a piece of ice. There are no right or wrong answers. Just notice. The mind will want to jump in with its stories. It's sharp. That must mean it's serious. Gently, thank the mind for its concern, and then return to the pure, simple observation of the feeling itself. Just sharpness, just dullness, just heat. Now, let's get curious about its shape and size. If this sensation had a boundary, a border, what shape would it be? Is it a small, focus point, like the tip of a pen? Or is it a wide, diffuse cloud that has no clear edges? Does it feel like a tight band wrapped around you? Or a sphere, dense and solid, in the center of your chest or stomach? Again, just notice what your senses tell you, without needing to understand it. You are simply mapping the terrain, observing the weather patterns with a gentle, non-judgmental awareness. As you observe these qualities, its sharpness or dullness, its heat or coldness, its shape and size, you might start to notice a connection. You are beginning to translate the physical language back into an emotional one. A sensation that feels like a tight band around your chest might be a perfect physical symbol for a feeling of emotional constriction or pressure. A heavy, dense sphere in your stomach could be the symbolic weight of undigested grief. A sharp, stabbing pain could mirror the sharpness of a critical inner voice or the pain of a recent betrayal. A buzzing, electric sensation might be the very signature of anxiety, of an energy that has nowhere to go. We are not looking for a definitive, one-to-one translation. This is not a dictionary. It is poetry. We are simply opening to the possibility that the qualities of the physical sensation are a direct reflection of the qualities of the underlying, unfelt emotion. The symptom is a metaphor, an image that the body is using to tell a story. By paying attention to the details of the metaphor, we can begin to understand the story's theme. Continue this gentle, curious scan. Notice if the sensation has a movement. Does it seem to pulse or throb with a rhythm of its own? Or is it completely still and constant? Does it radiate outwards, or does it seem to pull energy inwards? As you hold this sensation in your awareness, as you observe it with this poetic curiosity, you might notice something remarkable happening. The very act of observing it in this way, without fear and without a need to fix it, can begin to change the sensation itself. When we stop fighting a feeling, when we simply allow it to be there and give it our compassionate attention, it often begins to soften. Its edges might become less defined. Its intensity might decrease. It's as if the messenger, having been knocking so loudly for so long, is finally relieved to see you at the door, listening. They no longer have to shout. They can begin to speak in a normal voice. You are detaching from the clinical fear and reattaching to the lived sensory experience. This is a profound shift. You are taking back your power. You are no longer a passive victim of a mysterious symptom. You are an active, compassionate listener, engaging in a dialogue with a part of yourself that needs to be heard. You are moving from the cold, frightening world of the symptom to the rich, meaningful world of the symbol. And in this world, there is nothing to fear. There is only a story waiting to be lovingly, patiently understood. As we learn to observe the sensation as a symbol, it's also important to acknowledge the environment in which our fear of it grew so large. We need to turn our compassionate attention to the experience of the late-night search itself. That spiraling journey into what can feel like a digital echo chamber of anxiety. Let's revisit that quiet room, lit only by the blue glow of the screen. The initial search is often born from a simple, innocent need for reassurance. A strange ache, a persistent twitch, a feeling of unease. The first query, typed into the search bar, is a hopeful question. But the internet, in its infinite, non-human wisdom, does not offer simple reassurance. It offers data. It offers possibilities. It offers a million different pathways, and our anxious mind, seeking certainty, feels compelled to explore them all. The experience is like standing in a perfectly silent, dark room and whispering a single, worried question. Is this serious? And in response, the room doesn't whisper back a gentle no. Instead, 1,000 disembodied voices begin to speak at once from every corner of the darkness. Each voice presents a different scenario, a different clinical term, a different story of someone who felt something just like that. One link leads to a medical encyclopedia with lists of symptoms that are just vague enough to match your own. Another leads to a health forum, a collection of personal anecdotes, each one a small capsule of fear, uncertainty, and stories of long diagnostic journeys. Your initial, small concern is picked up by this digital echo chamber and amplified 1,000 times over. The whisper of "what if" becomes a deafening roar. This is the echo chamber of anxiety. In the silence of the night, with no other distractions, the mind becomes a perfect hall of mirrors. You are standing in the center, holding one small, flickering candle of worry. But the walls around you are lined with mirrors, and each mirror reflects your candle, but also distorts it. In one mirror, the flame of your worry is magnified, looking like a raging inferno. In another, it is twisted into a monstrous shape. In yet another, it is reflected infinitely, a terrifying corridor of endless flames stretching into the darkness. Your mind, trying to make sense of it all, races from one reflection to another, believing each distorted image to be the truth. It forgets that the source of all of it is just the one small candle you are holding in your hand. The physical sensation, the original messenger, is the candle. The late-night search is the hall of mirrors. The process feeds on itself. A new term learned from one website becomes the next search query. That query opens up a new set of possibilities, a new wing in the hall of mirrors with even more terrifying reflections. Your body, lying quietly in bed, becomes a map onto which you project all of these fears. A simple muscle twitch is no longer a muscle twitch. It is now the potential harbinger of a rare neurological disease you just read about. A feeling of indigestion is no longer indigestion. It is now a possible symptom of a serious condition described by a stranger on a forum. You have lost contact with the direct sensory experience of your body and have become lost in a world of frightening concepts and stories. The goal, right now, is not to get angry at yourself for getting lost in this hall of mirrors. It is a deeply human thing to do. It comes from a profound and understandable desire to be safe. Our task is simply to become aware of the pattern, to witness it from a distance, without getting caught up in it. Imagine you are now sitting peacefully outside the hall of mirrors. You can still see the frantic reflections, the distorted flames, but you are no longer inside. You can see the pattern of thought as if you were watching clouds pass in the night sky. Here comes a what-if cloud. You can see its shape, its dark color. You can notice it, name it. Ah, that is a fear thought. and then simply watch as it drifts by. You don't have to climb onto the cloud and ride it into a storm. You can remain grounded, watching from a place of quiet stillness. As you lie here now, some of those echoes might still be lingering in your mind. Remnants of the search, clinical words, frightening scenarios. See if you can just let them be there, without grabbing onto them. Let them be like the last fading echoes in a large room after a loud noise has stopped. They don't have the same power now. You are no longer feeding them with your focused attention and belief. You are letting them naturally dissipate in the vast, quiet space of your awareness. The silence that felt so lonely and isolating when you were searching online is now becoming your greatest ally. In this silence, the echoes have nothing to bounce off of. They simply fade. You can begin to distinguish between the noise and the signal. The noise was the echo chamber, the hall of mirrors, the 1,000 distorted voices of the internet. The signal is the quiet, persistent feeling in your own body. The messenger. By stepping out of the hall of mirrors, we can finally turn to this messenger with our full, undivided, and calm attention. We are no longer trying to interpret the knock by consulting 1,000 conflicting blueprints of the house. We are simply standing in front of the door, ready to listen to what this one true visitor has to say. The fear came from the echoes, from the reflections, from the stories. The truth and the healing comes from the direct, compassionate meeting with the sensation itself, here and now, in the quiet safety of your own body, in the profound peace of this present moment. You have escaped the echo chamber. You are free from the hall of mirrors. You are simply here, and that is a place of incredible power and peace. Having stepped out of the echo chamber, we can now widen our perspective. This journey isn't just about a single late-night experience. It's about connecting this personal moment to a much larger, universal human story. The tendency to transform an emotional pain into a physical one, and then to become fixated on the physical, is not a personal failing. It is a deeply ingrained part of our shared human experience, shaped by the very culture we live in. Think about how we are raised. From a very young age, we are taught to deal with the physical world in a very direct way. When you fall and scrape your knee, the response is immediate and clear. We clean the wound, we put on a bandage, we are given a kiss to make it better. The problem is identified and a solution is applied. There is a clear, tangible process for healing. But what happens when the hurt is on the inside? What is the bandage for a feeling of loneliness after a friend moves away? What is the antiseptic for the sting of a harsh word? What is the cure for the quiet ache of not fitting in? For these hurts, the instructions are often much less clear. More often than not, the implicit message we receive is to stop feeling it. We are told, don't be sad, don't be angry, you're too sensitive, or big kids don't cry. We are encouraged to be strong, to toughen up, to look on the bright side. The message, though often well-intentioned, is that these feelings are inconvenient, undesirable, or a sign of weakness. They are problems to be solved or suppressed, not experiences to be honored and felt. Our culture is, by and large, a culture of fixing. We value productivity, efficiency, and solutions. We have an immense and powerful vocabulary for diagnosing and treating the body. We have an entire industry dedicated to it. But our vocabulary for the inner world of emotion is often surprisingly limited. We are far more comfortable saying, I have a headache, than we are saying, I am carrying an immense weight of unspoken sadness today. The headache is a legitimate, fixable problem. The sadness feels messy, unproductive, and without a clear solution. And so, from a young age, we learn the art of emotional alchemy. We learn to take the messy, inconvenient feelings and bury them. We become experts at building dams to hold back the rivers of our true emotional experience. We do this to be accepted, to be functional, to be strong. It is a survival mechanism in a world that often prioritizes doing over being and thinking over feeling. So, when in adult life a major emotional event occurs, a loss, a betrayal, a period of intense stress or uncertainty, we revert to our training. We instinctively try to fix it or get over it. We don't give ourselves the time or the space to simply feel. The river of emotion rises behind the dam, and the pressure builds. And because the mind knows we are unwilling to acknowledge the river itself, it offers us a compromise. It creates the narrow, rocky channel of a physical symptom. The symptom is a socially acceptable, culturally understood way of expressing that something is wrong. It is a legitimate ticket to receiving care and attention. It is something fixable. Your late-night search for answers is a perfect expression of this cultural conditioning. You are doing exactly what you have been taught to do your entire life. When something feels wrong, you identify the problem and you try to fix it. There is no shame in this. It is a testament to your resilience and your desire to be well. But true, deep healing asks us to do something radical. It asks us to go against our cultural training. It asks us, just for a while, to stop fixing and to start feeling. It asks us to create a safe inner space where the unspoken feeling, the one behind the symptom, can finally be acknowledged without judgment. So, let's create that space right now. As you lie here in the safety and quiet of your bed, I invite you to gently ask yourself a question. Again, this is not a question to be answered with your thinking mind. It is a question to be felt. It is an invitation you are extending to a hidden part of yourself. The question is this: what feeling have I not had time or space for recently? Let that question hang in the air of your inner world. What feeling have I not had time or space for today, this week, this month? Don't go searching for an answer. Simply create a quiet, welcoming silence after the question. You are opening a door. You are sitting down in a comfortable chair and signaling that you are ready to listen. You are not demanding an answer. You are just making yourself available. An image might arise in your mind, a memory, a name. A quiet sense of sadness might surface, a flicker of anger, a wave of exhaustion. Whatever comes or doesn't come, your only job is to meet it with gentle acceptance. If a feeling does begin to surface, just let it be there. You don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to analyze it or solve it. Your only task is to give it the one thing it has been denied for so long: a little bit of space. The simple, compassionate acknowledgement of its existence. By doing this, you are beginning to heal at the root. You are telling your entire system that it is safe to feel. You are signaling to the mind's protective engineer that they don't have to divert the entire river anymore. You are showing that you are strong enough to sit by the water's edge and just be with it for a little while. This is a profound act of self-compassion. It is the beginning of a new relationship with yourself, one based not on suppression and fixing, but on listening and honoring the full spectrum of your human experience. and the messenger at the door, the physical symptom, can finally begin to relax. Its job is almost done. The message is finally starting to be received. As we create this safe space for feeling, we can venture even deeper. We can begin to look beneath the specific emotion, beneath the sadness or the fear, to uncover the even more fundamental questions that often fuel our late-night searches. The search for a diagnosis, the desperate need for a name, a label, a certainty, is rarely just about the physical sensation itself. It is almost always a search for something much deeper. It is a search for an answer to the profound, often unspoken, existential questions that haunt the quiet hours of the night. When you are typing your symptoms into the search bar, what is the question beneath the question? On the surface, you are asking, what is this strange pain in my side? But the unspoken question, the one resonating in the deepest part of your being, is often much simpler and far more profound. It might be the question, am I safe? This is perhaps the most fundamental question of our nervous system. In the darkness, alone with a strange and unexplained sensation, the primitive part of our brain, the part designed to detect threats, can become highly activated. The body feels unfamiliar, and therefore, potentially unsafe. The search for a diagnosis is a search for a map of this unfamiliar territory. We believe that if we can just name the threat, if we can label the monster in the dark, we can regain a sense of control, and therefore, a sense of safety. The clinical term, even a frightening one, can feel safer than the terrifying void of the unknown. A known enemy is often less scary than a nameless shadow. Another question, hiding just beneath the surface of the search is anyone taking care of me? In the modern world, we are often expected to be incredibly self-reliant. We manage our careers, our families, our finances. We are the ones in charge. But when our body feels fragile or untrustworthy, it can trigger a very young, vulnerable part of ourselves. A part that remembers a time when we were small and helpless, and when a caring adult was the source of all safety and comfort. In that moment, the late-night search can become a strange, digital substitute for that caregiver. We are asking the infinite, impersonal entity of the internet to please take care of us, to give us the answer that will soothe us, to act like a wise, all-knowing parent who can make the scary feelings go away. We are looking for an authority figure to say, there, it's going to be all right. This is what it is, and this is what we will do. It is a profound expression of a very deep and human need to be held and cared for in our moments of vulnerability. And finally, a third question that often lies at the heart of the search is, can I handle this? A mysterious symptom can feel like a harbinger of a future we are not prepared for. A future of illness, of weakness, of dependency, of loss. The fear is not just about the sensation now, but about what the sensation means for the entire trajectory of our life. The search becomes a frantic attempt to scope out the future, to see the path ahead. We are trying to answer the question, do I have the strength, the resources, the resilience to deal with what might be coming? The search for a diagnosis becomes a search for certainty in a fundamentally uncertain world. We want to know the end of the story. We want to flip to the last page of the book to make sure everything turns out okay. Because the not knowing, the uncertainty, can feel more unbearable than even a difficult truth. These questions, am I safe? Is anyone taking care of me? Can I handle this? Are not small questions. They are the great, deep questions of a human life. It is no wonder that they feel so heavy in the quiet of the night. It is no wonder that we would do almost anything, including scrolling for hours through terrifying medical websites, to find a solid answer to them. The key, however, is to recognize that the internet cannot answer these questions. No diagnosis, no article, no forum post can truly tell you that you are safe. Safety is not a piece of information. It is a feeling, an inner state. No website can truly take care of you. Care is not data. It is an act of loving presence. And no search result can tell you if you can handle what's to come. Your strength is not a fact to be looked up. It is a resource that you discover by living. So, our practice now is to simply hold these deeper questions in our awareness with immense compassion, without needing an immediate answer. Let's take them one by one. First, gently allow the question, "Am I safe?" to be present in your awareness. Feel it in your body. Notice where the vulnerability lives. And instead of looking outside for an answer, you can offer a gentle reassurance from within. You can feel the bed supporting you. You can feel the warmth of your own body. You can whisper to yourself, "In this moment, right here, right now, I am safe." Now, let the question, "Is anyone taking care of me?" surface. Acknowledge that deep, young part of you that wants to be cared for. And instead of seeking a caregiver outside, you can become that caregiver for yourself. You can place a hand on your own heart. You can offer yourself the same tenderness you would offer a frightened child. You can say, "I am here. I am taking care of you." Finally, allow the question, "Can I handle this?" to be present. Feel the fear of the unknown future. And instead of trying to predict or control that future, you can connect with your own resilience. You can remember all the difficult things you have already handled in your life. You can trust in the strength that has brought you this far. You can affirm, "Whatever comes, I will meet it. I have the resources within me." By meeting these questions with inner compassion instead of an outer search, you shift from a place of fear and powerlessness to a place of inner resourcefulness and peace. You stop asking the world for answers it cannot give, and you begin to access the deep well of wisdom and strength that already exists right inside of you. We have journeyed through the mind, exploring the alchemy of protection, the echo chamber of anxiety, and the deep existential questions that fuel our fears. Now, we return once more to the simple, profound reality of the body. Words and understanding can take us far, but the deepest healing often comes from a place beyond language, through the simple power of compassionate touch. This next step is a gentle, guided practice. It is an invitation to shift your relationship with your body from one of fear with it to one of care for it. For so long tonight, your attention has been directed at Shrew, a part of your body with a sense of alarm, suspicion, or frustration. That part has been the object of your worry, a problem to be solved. We are now going to transform that energy of fear into an energy of care, using the warmth and kindness of your own hands. So, in your own time, I invite you to gently, slowly place a hand over the area of your body that has been holding your attention. If the sensation is in a place that's hard to reach, you can place your hand on your heart or your belly as a symbolic gesture of sending care to that area. Let this be a movement of pure kindness. Imagine you are approaching a small, frightened animal or comforting a child who is upset. Your movement would be slow, gentle, and full of reassurance. Let that be the quality of your touch now. As your hand makes contact with your body, just pause for a moment. Feel the simple connection, the warmth of your palm against your skin or through your clothes. For the first time tonight, perhaps, you are touching this place not to probe it, not to check on it, not to assess it, but simply to be with it, to offer it comfort. This is a radical act. You are changing the fundamental nature of the conversation. The relationship is no longer adversarial. It is becoming one of loving companionship. Now let's bring the breath into this practice. With your hand resting gently on this place, take a slow, soft breath in. And as you breathe in, imagine that your breath is gathering all the warmth, all the kindness, all the compassionate presence from your heart. And as you breathe out, imagine you are sending that warm, kind breath down your arm, through your palm, and directly into the part of your body beneath your hand. Breathe in, gathering care. Breathe out, offering that care directly to the place that hurts. Let each exhale be a wave of warmth, a gentle current of soothing energy. You are not trying to force the sensation to go away. You are not trying to blast it with energy or fix it. You are simply offering it warmth and kindness. You are changing the environment around the sensation from one of cold fear to one of gentle, loving warmth. The messenger has been knocking on a door in a cold, lonely storm. You have now opened the door and invited them inside, offering them a warm blanket and a comfortable chair by the fire. You are saying, with your touch and your breath, I hear you. I am here with you. You don't have to shout anymore. You are welcome here. As you continue this gentle breathing, this offering of warmth, you might begin to notice subtle shifts. The area under your hand might feel a little softer. The sensation itself might feel a little less sharp, a little more diffuse. Or it may not change at all, and that is perfectly okay. The goal is not to achieve a specific outcome. The goal is the practice itself, the act of showing up for yourself with unconditional kindness. This is the care you were seeking. This is the reassurance you were looking for. You were searching for it outside of yourself, in the cold light of a screen, but it was here all along, waiting in the warmth of your own hands. Keep your hand there for a few more moments, and let your awareness be filled with this simple, powerful connection. Your hand, a part of your body, is offering comfort to another part of your body. This is a beautiful, complete circuit of self-compassion. You are becoming your own caregiver. You are answering that deep, vulnerable question, is anyone taking care of me? With a resounding, embodied, yes, I am. You can also offer some silent words of kindness to this part of your body. You might say, internally, something like, thank you for the message you have been trying to send me. I am listening now. Or, it's okay. You can relax now. I am here with you. Or simply, I'm sorry you've been hurting. I'm sending you love. Let the words come from a genuine place of tenderness. You are speaking to your own body with the respect and care you would offer a beloved friend. This simple act of placing a hand on the hurt and breathing kindness into it is one of the most powerful transformations you can experience. It is the moment you stop treating your body like a misbehaving machine and start treating it like the sacred living landscape that it is. It is the moment you stop being the fearful patient and become your own gentle, wise healer. The fear cannot survive in an environment of such warmth. The anxiety cannot maintain its grip in the face of such tenderness. You are dissolving the fear not by fighting it, but by flooding the entire landscape with a gentle, unconditional love. You are coming home to yourself, not in your mind, but in the simple, honest, and profoundly healing reality of your own compassionate touch. Through this offering of warmth and compassionate touch, we have created a profound sense of safety. We have let the messenger know that they are finally being heard. And in this safety, something new becomes possible. The dam, which the mind built so long ago to protect you from the overwhelming river of emotion, can now begin to be gently, carefully dismantled. We can begin to visualize the river of release. This is not about being overwhelmed or flooded. This is not about a catastrophic dam failure. Think of it as the slow, controlled opening of a sluice gate, allowing the immense pressure that is built up behind the dam to be released in a steady, cleansing flow. The river does not need to rage. It simply needs to move again. So, continue to rest your hand on that place of sensation or on your heart. Maintain that connection of warmth and safety. And now, bring to your mind's eye the image of that dam we spoke of earlier. See it as a solid, strong structure within you. Acknowledge its purpose. It was built out of a deep intelligence and a desire for your protection. So, the first step is to thank it. Silently, in your heart, thank this protective part of you for its incredible, tireless work. Thank you for holding all of this for me for so long. Thank you for keeping me safe. This gratitude is essential. We are not treating this protective mechanism as an enemy. We are honoring it as a loyal guardian, and we are now gently letting it know that its duties can be relaxed just for a little while. We are letting it know that we are here now, consciously present and able to handle a little more of the river's flow. Now, imagine a small, gentle release. It might be a tiny crack appearing in the dam. Or perhaps you can see a small gate beginning to creak open. And through this opening, the river of stored emotion begins to flow. See it not as a destructive torrent, but as a gentle, cleansing current. This water has been stagnant for a long time, and now it is finally moving. What does this release feel like in your body? You might not feel anything dramatic. It may be very subtle. It could be a feeling of warmth spreading out from the place under your hand. It could be a sense of softening, a gentle unknotting in your muscles. The physical sensation, the hard lead of the symptom, which was the concentrated pressure point, can now begin to dissolve as the pressure behind it is released. You might experience a deep sigh, a natural, spontaneous release of breath you didn't even realize you were holding. This is the body's way of letting go. Tears may come to your eyes. If they do, let them flow without judgment. Tears are not a sign of sadness or weakness. They are a physical sign of this river of release. They are liquid release. They are the river itself, finally finding its way to the sea. The body has been holding on to this moisture, this stored grief or fear, and now it is letting it go. It is a beautiful, natural, and profoundly healing process. If tears come, simply allow them to be there. You don't need to analyze them or even know what they are for. Just let the cleansing happen. You might also just feel a sense of spaciousness. The area that felt so tight, so dense, so crowded with sensation might begin to feel a little lighter, a little more open. It's as if a clenched fist is beginning to slowly, finger by finger, unclench. There is more room to breathe. The landscape that was experiencing a drought of feeling is now being nourished by a gentle, life-giving stream. As you witness this, remember the shift in your core question. For so long, you were searching for an answer. You were desperate for a diagnosis, a label, a certainty that would bring you relief. Notice the feeling of relief that is beginning to emerge now. And notice that this relief has come not from finding an answer, but from ceasing to ask the wrong question. The relief is not in the knowing, but in the letting go. It is the relief of the messenger finally delivering their message. It is the relief of the dam no longer having to withstand such immense pressure. It is the relief of a river finally being allowed to follow its natural course. Stay with this visualization for as long as it feels comfortable. See the gentle stream flowing, carrying away the old, stagnant energy. It is not carrying you away. It is flowing through you. You are the stable, peaceful riverbank, witnessing the water's movement. You are safe. You are grounded. You are simply allowing a natural process of release to occur in a safe and supportive inner environment that you have created. This is the true meaning of healing. It is not about eradicating a symptom. It is about restoring flow. The symptom was a sign that the natural flow of your emotional life had been blocked. By creating safety, by listening with compassion, and by gently allowing release, you are inviting your entire system back into its natural state of balance and harmony. The river doesn't need to empty all at once. The release will happen at its own pace in its own time. Your only job is to maintain this state of gentle, compassionate permission, to keep the sluice gate open just a little, and to trust in the wisdom of the river to know its own way to the ocean of peace. The transformation is happening. The solid is becoming liquid. The stuckness is becoming flow. And you are not the one doing it. You are the one allowing it to be done. Now that the river of feeling has begun to flow, we can support this release with a gentle practice of breath work. The breath is our most powerful and immediate tool for letting go. It is the bridge between our conscious mind and the automatic, wise processes of the body. Each exhale is a physical, tangible opportunity to release what no longer serves us. Our focus in this practice will be on releasing the story. The story is the collection of words, labels, fears, and scenarios that the mind has woven around the physical sensation. It is the clinical terminology you learned online. It is the what-if projection into the future. It is the memory of every frightening article or forum post. These stories, as we have seen, are the hall of mirrors, the echo chamber that amplifies our fear. The sensation is the messenger. The story is the noise that prevents us from hearing the message clearly. We are now going to use the breath to consciously and deliberately sweep this noise away. So, settle once more into the feeling of your body resting here. Let your hand remain on your heart or belly, a constant anchor of warmth and safety. Bring your awareness gently to the rhythm of your own breathing, just as it is. Don't try to change it yet. Simply notice the gentle rise of your chest or abdomen on the in-breath and the soft release on the out-breath. Now, we will add a simple intention to the breath. As you breathe in, I invite you to silently say to yourself, I am breathing in calm and presence. Feel the air as it enters your body, not just as oxygen, but as an infusion of pure, peaceful presence. Imagine it as a soft, gentle light, filling your lungs and spreading a sense of quiet stillness throughout your entire body. Breathing in calm, breathing in presence. You are drawing in the very qualities you need the very state you wish to embody. You are nourishing your system with peace. Now, we will turn our focus to the exhale. The exhale is the great letting go. On your next out-breath, I invite you to consciously, deliberately let go of the story. You can visualize this. Imagine all the clinical terms you Googled, all the frightening diagnoses, all the what-if scenarios, gathering together in your mind like a cloud of dark smoke. And as you exhale, see that cloud of smoke effortlessly leaving your body with the breath. Watch it drift away from you, dissolving into the vast, empty space of the room. Each exhale is a physical act of surrender. You are releasing your mind's tight grip on the narrative of the symptom. So, the practice is simple. Inhale, I am breathing in calm. And on the exhale, you can silently say, I am letting go of the story. Let's stay with this for a few cycles of breath. Breathe in calm and presence, feeling it fill you. Breathe out, releasing the cloud of words, labels, and fears. Watch it drift away and dissolve. Inhale and exhale. Let the out-breath be a little longer, a little slower than the in-breath. This signals to your nervous system that you are safe and that it is okay to relax and release. You are not trying to force the thoughts out. You are simply allowing them to ride the wave of the exhale out of your system. It's like standing in a dusty room and gently opening a window. You don't have to sweep every dust particle out by hand. You just let the fresh breeze of your calm in-breath and the gentle current of your releasing out-breath do the work for you. Let go of the need to name the sensation. Let go of the need to understand it. Let go of the story of what it might mean for tomorrow, or next week, or next year. On each exhale, you are consciously choosing to release these mental constructs and to return to the simple, direct, wordless reality of this present moment. Breathing in peace. Breathing out the narrative. You might notice the mind wanting to jump back in with a new worry or a new analysis. That's what minds do. When it happens, simply notice it without judgment. And on your very next exhale, gently place that thought onto the cloud and watch it float away. You are not fighting your mind. You are just patiently, repeatedly, choosing not to engage with the stories of fear. This practice creates a profound separation between your awareness and the content of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are the calm, spacious sky through which the thought clouds are passing. The more you practice this, the more you realize that the suffering was never in the sensation itself. The suffering was in the story, about the sensation. It was in the resistance, the fear, the projection. By letting go of the story, you are left with just the pure, raw data of a physical feeling, which, as we have seen, can be met with curiosity and compassion. It is no longer a monster. It is just a messenger. It is just weather in your landscape. Continue this for a few more breaths. Feel the narrative loosening its hold. Feel the mental space around the sensation becoming cleaner, quieter, more peaceful. Each exhale is a declaration of freedom. Freedom from the echo chamber. Freedom from the hall of mirrors. Freedom from the tyranny of a story that was never the truth, but only a product of fear. You are breathing yourself back into the quiet, simple sanity of the present moment, where everything is, in fact, okay. Having released the story, a new and profound state becomes accessible to us. We arrive at the edge of a great and peaceful ocean. This is the transformation from a desperate need for answers to a calm and even beautiful, acceptance of uncertainty. This is the gentle art of dissolving into not knowing. For so long tonight, your entire being has been oriented around the act of knowing. The mind has been striving, grasping, struggling to find a solid piece of ground, a firm label, a definitive answer to stand on. This striving is the very engine of anxiety. The mind believes that if it can just know, then it can be safe. But we have discovered that this search for knowledge in the face of the body's mystery is a paradoxical journey. The more you sought to know, the more possibilities for fear you uncovered. The more you struggled for the solid ground of certainty, the deeper you sank into the quicksand of anxiety. Now, we are invited to do something that feels utterly counterintuitive to the anxious mind. We are invited to stop struggling. We are invited to let go of the search for solid ground and to discover that we can, in fact, float. We can rest in the vast, supportive water of the unknown. This is the great and final letting go. It is the surrender of the mind's need to be in control. It is the acknowledgement that some things are, and perhaps are meant to be, a mystery. Your body is a universe of immense complexity and wisdom. Billions of cells are performing trillions of coordinated actions every second, all without any conscious direction from you. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, your food digests, your wounds heal, all guided by an intelligence that is far beyond the comprehension of your thinking mind. The late-night search is the thinking mind's attempt to impose its limited, logical framework onto this vast, mysterious, and deeply intelligent process. It is like a single person with a small flashlight trying to map the entire Amazon rainforest at night. It is an impossible task, and one that is bound to create a feeling of being lost and overwhelmed. To dissolve into not knowing is to put down the flashlight. It is to sit down on the forest floor, to lean back against an ancient tree, and to simply listen to the sounds of the jungle. It is to trust that the forest has its own wisdom, its own rhythms, its own ways of healing and balancing that do not require your conscious understanding. Let's explore this state with a metaphor. Imagine that the symptom, the sensation, with all its stories and fears, is a single grain of salt. For hours, you have been holding this grain of salt in your hand, examining it under a microscope. It has been the absolute center of your universe. Your focus has been so narrow, so intense, that this single grain of salt has felt like a giant, terrifying boulder. Now, imagine a vast, calm ocean stretching out before you. This ocean is your own awareness. It is the quiet, spacious presence that has been here all along, beneath the storm of anxious thoughts. This is the state of being we have been cultivating. Now, in your mind's eye, see yourself gently opening your hand and letting that single grain of salt, the symptom, the worry, drop into the immense body of the water. Watch as it falls. Watch as it dissolves. The salt does not cease to exist, but its nature is completely transformed. It is no longer a separate, sharp, problematic crystal. It has been absorbed into the vastness of the ocean. It has become one with the water. Its concentrated, intense quality has been diluted into the gentle, peaceful salinity of the entire ocean. The problem has not been solved. It has been dissolved. This is what it means to rest in not knowing. You are no longer holding the sensation as a separate problem to be analyzed. You are allowing it to be absorbed into the vast, peaceful, and accepting space of your awareness. You are letting it become just one small, insignificant part of the totality of your experience, rather than the center of it. You are releasing the need to understand it, and instead, you are embracing the quiet mystery of your own body and of the night itself. The night is a profound teacher of this state of not knowing. In the daytime, we see things clearly. We name them, categorize them, control them. But the night blurs the edges. It softens the boundaries between things. It invites us into a world of shadow and dream, a world where logic gives way to intuition and where doing gives way to being. To embrace not knowing is to align yourself with the wisdom of the night. It is to allow yourself to become like the darkness, vast, mysterious, and full of a quiet, restorative potential. There's a deep peace to be found here, in this surrender. The frantic energy of the search gives way to a profound stillness. The mind, finally released from its impossible task of knowing everything, can at last become quiet. It can rest. This is the true reassurance you were looking for. Not the false promise of a definitive answer from a screen, but the deep, embodied peace that comes from accepting the limits of your own knowledge and trusting in a wisdom that is larger than your mind. As you float in this gentle ocean of not knowing, there is nothing left to do, nothing to fix, nothing to figure out. There is only this moment, only this breath, only the gentle, supportive presence of your own being, resting in the heart of a great and peaceful mystery. Having dissolved the problem into the vast ocean of not knowing, we can now offer a final, gentle gift to the body before it drifts into sleep. We can move through the landscape of our physical form one last time, not as a diagnostician searching for faults, but as a benevolent sovereign, visiting each part of the kingdom and granting it a formal, explicit permission to rest. This is a slow, gentle body scan, infused with the intention of gratitude and release. The body has worked so hard. It has carried your worry. It has held the tension of your fear. It has patiently endured the frantic energy of the search. And it has sent you a message, a profound communication from your inner world. Now is the time to thank it for its resilience and to let it know that its work for the day is done. The time for healing and integration has arrived. So, bring your awareness down, all the way down, to the very tips of your toes. Feel them inside your socks or against the sheets. And as your awareness rests here, silently and gently, offer them permission to let go. You can say to them in your mind, "Toes, your work is done for today. Thank you. You are allowed to rest now." Feel any tension in your toes and in the soles of your feet just melting away. Feel them becoming soft, warm, and heavy. Now, let this wave of gentle permission flow upwards into your ankles and your lower legs. Thank your shins and your calf muscles for carrying you, for holding you up, for allowing you to move through your world. Give them permission to completely release. Let them feel heavy and deeply relaxed, sinking into the mattress. Legs, thank you. You may rest now. Allow this warm, heavy feeling of release to move into your knees and up into your thighs. These are some of the largest, strongest muscles in your body. They hold so much energy, so much tension. Acknowledge their strength and their service, and now grant them a full and complete release. Feel your thighs becoming soft, heavy, and completely still. Feel the entirety of your legs, from your hips to your toes, surrendered to a state of profound relaxation and trust. Now bring your awareness to the base of your spine, to your hips, and your pelvis. This is the foundation of your torso, an area that often holds deep-seated tension related to our sense of stability and safety. Offer this area your gratitude. Thank it for being your center of gravity, your anchor, and give it permission to let go. Hips, pelvis, thank you. You can release now. You are safe. You are supported. Feel the muscles in your glutes and your lower back softening, releasing their grip. Let the entire bowl of your pelvis feel heavy and grounded. Let this wave of relaxation flow up your back, vertebra by vertebra. Feel it spreading across your lower back, a common place for holding unspoken burdens and stress. Send a special wave of gratitude and permission to this area. Lower back, thank you for all that you carry. You can set it all down now. You are allowed to rest. Feel the muscles along either side of your spine letting go as the wave of release moves up into your middle and upper back, spreading out across your shoulder blades. Now, let's bring our attention to the part of the body that held the specific worry, the place where the messenger was knocking. Bring your awareness there now, not with the old fear, but with this new sense of gentle, loving authority. Place your full, compassionate presence there one last time and offer it a special, heartfelt release. You might say, to my shoulder, or to my stomach, or to my head. Thank you. Thank you for your important message. I have heard you. Your work is done. You have my full and complete permission to let go, to soften, and to enter a state of deep healing and rest. Spend an extra moment here, bathing this area in the warmth of your gratitude and the peace of your permission. Feel it finally, fully, letting go of its role as the messenger and simply rejoining the rest of the body in its journey towards sleep. Now, allow the wave of release to flow into your abdomen. Feel your belly becoming soft and warm. Let all the organs within rest. Give your stomach, your intestines, permission to cease their work and to enter a state of quiet restoration. Let this gentle feeling move up into your chest. Feel your heart, which may have been beating with anxiety earlier, now beating in a slow, calm, steady rhythm. Thank your heart for its ceaseless, life-giving work. Thank your lungs for the miracle of your breath. Give this entire area, your vital center, permission to be at peace. Heart and lungs, thank you. You can be calm now. You can be still. Let the relaxation flow out into your shoulders, releasing any remaining tension you might be holding there. Let it cascade down your arms, through your elbows and wrists, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Let your arms and hands feel heavy, warm, and completely limp. Shoulders, arms, hands, thank you. Your work is done. You may rest now. Finally, bring the wave of permission up into your neck and your throat. Let the muscles that hold up your head relax. Let your throat, the channel of communication, be soft and open. And let this final wave of release wash over your entire head. Let your jaw unclench completely. Let the tiny muscles around your eyes and in your forehead smooth out and become still. Thank your mind for all of its hard work, for its tireless efforts to protect you. And now, give it the greatest gift of all, permission to be quiet. Mind, thank you. Your work is done. You are allowed to be silent now. You can rest. You are now floating in a state of profound relaxation. Every single part of your body has been acknowledged, thanked, and given the explicit permission to let go. The kingdom is at peace. The sovereign can now rest, trusting that the quiet, wise work of healing will continue effortlessly in the restorative darkness of sleep. As the entire kingdom of your body settles into this deep state of peace, let's take a final, focused moment to visit the places where anxiety often holds its most stubborn grip. These are the watchtowers, the fortified gates of the body, the places that remain on high alert long after the perceived threat has passed. We will visit them now, not with force, but with the gentle, irresistible persuasion of a moonlight-soaked breeze, inviting them to participate in the final act of surrender. This is the gentle unclenching. First, bring your awareness to your jaw. Without even realizing it, we spend so much of our day, and even our night, with our jaw subtly clenched. It is the body's physical expression of gritting our teeth to get through a difficult situation. It's a place where we hold back unspoken words, where we stifle anger or frustration. It is a place of immense unconscious effort. So now, bring your full, gentle attention to the hinge of your jaw, right below your ears. Simply notice any tension you find there. There is no need to judge it, just feel it. And now, I invite you to consciously, deliberately, allow your jaw to soften. You might let your mouth open just a tiny fraction. Let your teeth, which may have been touching or even pressing together, gently part. Feel the powerful muscles on the sides of your face, letting go of their lifelong habit of holding on. Imagine this area unclenching like a flower opening in the moonlight. Petal by petal, fiber by fiber, the tension dissolves. Feel the wave of release spreading across your cheeks, around your mouth, and into your chin. The unclenching of the jaw sends a powerful signal of safety to the entire nervous system. It is a declaration that the time for bracing is over. The time for rest has truly begun. Now, let's bring that same quality of gentle, persuasive awareness to your shoulders. Our shoulders are the body's mantle of responsibility. We speak of shouldering a burden or carrying the weight of the world. Throughout the day, and especially in times of stress, our shoulders tend to creep up towards our ears, a physical posture of defense and preparation. They are braced for an impact. Even now, there might be a residual tension held there. So, let your awareness rest on the tops of your shoulders and on the muscles that run from your neck out to your arms. Feel their shape, their warmth, their tension. And on your next exhale, imagine those muscles melting. Visualize them like warm wax, softening and dripping down, away from your ears. Feel the physical space between your earlobes and the tops of your shoulders growing longer, more open. Feel the weight of your arms pulling your shoulders gently down into a state of complete and utter release. The burdens have been set down. The weight has been released. Your shoulders, once braced for a threat, are now surrendered to the soft, safe pull of gravity. They are no longer on guard. They are at peace. Next, bring your awareness to your hands. When we are anxious or afraid, our hands often form subtle, unconscious fists. The fingers curl in, the thumb tucks, a primal readiness to fight or to grasp. Your hands, even while resting at your sides, may be holding a slight curl of tension. So, let your awareness fill your palms, your fingers, your thumbs, and just as you did with your jaw, invite them to unclench. Feel your fingers unfurling, becoming long, soft, and open. Imagine that tightly held bud of tension blossoming into an open flower. Let your hands rest with the palms slightly open, a posture of receiving, of acceptance, of non-resistance. This simple unclenching of the hands is a profound act of surrender. You are letting go of the need to grasp to control, to hold on. You are signaling to your entire being that you are willing to receive the gift of rest without resistance. Your hands are no longer fists braced for a fight. They are open, soft, and ready for peace. Finally, let's bring our awareness to the solar plexus, the area of your stomach and abdomen. This is our soft underbelly, our center of feeling and intuition. It is the place where we feel butterflies of excitement or a knot of anxiety. When we feel threatened, this area instinctively tightens, a physiological armoring of our most vulnerable core. Bring your warm, gentle attention to this center now. You have already given it permission to rest, but now invite it into an even deeper state of release. Imagine the muscles of your abdomen, which may have been subtly braced, now becoming as soft and yielding as warm water. Let go of any need to hold your stomach in. Let it be completely soft, completely vulnerable. Visualize this area too, as a flower unclenching in the darkness. The tight, protective bud of fear is opening to reveal the soft, peaceful center within. This final unclenching of the stomach is an act of profound trust. You are letting go of the last line of defense. You are declaring, with your body, that you are utterly and completely safe in this bed, in this room, in this moment. The jaw is soft. The shoulders are released. The hands are open. The stomach is at peace. The watchtowers are empty. The gates are unguarded. Your entire body, once a fortress braced for a threat, has now transformed. It has become a quiet, open garden, surrendered to the safety of the bed and the healing stillness of the night. As you lie here now, a quiet garden in the moonlight, every part of you unclenched and at peace, we arrive at the edge of the final and most profound transformation of our journey together. This metamorphosis is not one you have to orchestrate or understand. It is one you simply allow. It is the quiet, mysterious alchemy of sleep itself. All that we have done tonight, turning from the screen, embracing the body as a landscape, welcoming the messenger, understanding the mind's protective art, releasing the story, and dissolving into the peace of not knowing. All of it has been a preparation for the sacred threshold. We have been clearing the path, opening the gates, and making the space ready for the deep, restorative wisdom of the night to do its healing work. Sleep is not simply a shutting down, a period of inactivity. It is a journey into another state of being, a realm where the conscious, analytical mind gives way to a deeper, more ancient intelligence. It is in this realm that the true integration and healing occurs. Think of your waking mind as a diligent gardener who has spent the evening gently weeding the soil, loosening the compacted earth, and watering the thirsty roots. Now, the gardener's work is done. They can lay down their tools, retreat from the garden, and trust in the great, silent, and miraculous processes of nature to do the rest. In the darkness, beneath the surface, the real magic happens. The water is absorbed, the nutrients are assimilated, the cells repair and regenerate. The growth is not a product of the gardener's effort, but of their surrender to a power far greater than their own. This is the nature of sleep. As you drift across the threshold, the conscious mind, with all its worries and its need for control, finally steps aside. The message that the symptom carried has been received. The emotion that was held for so long has been acknowledged and allowed to flow. The deep existential questions have been met, not with answers, but with a compassionate presence. Now, the subconscious mind, the wise gardener of your inner world, can begin its own quiet work. It can sort through the experiences of the day, filing and integrating them. It can continue the process of healing on a cellular level. It can weave the insights of our journey tonight into the very fabric of your being. The symptom, that grain of salt we dissolved in the ocean of awareness, is no longer a central point of focus. Its message has been delivered. The messenger, having been welcomed and heard, can now depart. The energy that was so tightly bound up in that physical knot of worry is now free, and this freed energy becomes the fuel for your body's deep, restorative processes. The transformation continues, but it is no longer a conscious effort. It becomes effortless, like the turning of the tide or the rising of the moon. It is the body's own innate journey back to wholeness, a journey that happens most powerfully when we are not trying, not watching, not analyzing, but are simply, deeply at rest. There is nothing left for you to do now, not a single thing. Every effort has been released. Every question has been laid down. Every burden has been set aside. Your only task is to allow yourself to be carried across this threshold, to surrender to the gentle, irresistible pull of sleep. Trust in the darkness. Trust in the silence. Trust in the profound intelligence of your own body and mind to continue this healing metamorphosis in the quiet wisdom of your sleep. As you drift, the search is over, the listening is complete, and the transformation continues in the deep, quiet peace of your own healing rest. Let go now, and let the night heal you.